Welcome into the Echo Sportscast number 70.
I'm Jackson Bowl.
And I'm Ben Sargent. On the basketball courts, the Bears met the Barons as Algonquin looked to bounce back after their first loss of the season to West Ferris last week. Meanwhile, Scholar looks to make a statement with only a few weeks of games left.
In NDA hockey, Chippewa and Scholar squared off on Wednesday evening. The Bears looking to continue their impressive season, but ran into a tough Ravens team who found themselves in a 1-1 tie after the first period, looking for the upset.
And on the volleyball courts, we were at West Ferris on Thursday night as the Trojans looked to take down the league-leading Bears.
All of that and more on the way, but first a word from our lead sponsor, Source for Sports.
It's almost that time of year. Early mornings at the rink, fresh notebooks and backpacks, and a community gearing up for another great season of varsity sports. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of it all. Whether it's finding your kid's first pair of skates, gearing up for tryouts, or outfitting your team for the season ahead, we've got you covered. Because here, we're not just a sports store, we're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to cheer you on every shift, step, and stride of the way. Visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street and let us help you along your way. So we start off the show with a big matchup at the Algonquin Gym on Monday evening as the Barons hosted the Bears and senior boys basketball. Algonquin looking to get back to winning ways after last week against West Ferris, and it was a hard-fought game on both sides. Algonquin at one point did build up an 8-point lead after the third quarter, but the Bears mounted the comeback that fell just short as Algonquin ended up just securing the win 63-61. Owen Hamilton led the charge with 25 points, and Dane Meyer picked up 18, plus a couple of key rebounds as well. With a win later in the week against Franco, the Barons now find themselves 6-1 on the season. And Jackson, that gets very interesting because on Tuesday night, I was doing the Voodoos game where they went and they beat up on French River 11-5. But that night, Chippewa faced West Ferris. And tell us a little bit about what happened there.
The undefeated West Ferris went into Chippewa's gym, which is always difficult to play the away game. And Chippewa beat them by like a comfortable 9 points. And it was, I would say, a consistent lead for most of the game. And the emotions flared up in the third and fourth quarter. Late in the game, like it was intense the whole time, I heard. But late in the game, the emotions got the better of some of the teams. Some of the players.
That's so West Ferris still in first because they have the point differential. They beat Chippewa by 10. But that means now there's three teams that find themselves with only one loss, right? Chippewa, Ferris, and Algonquin. So the Bears kind of being that like the Bears and Franco and, coming down. But it's interesting because I went in with the perception it's probably going to be the same final as last year. Algonquin Ferris looked like they were the kind of like that football rematch, but Chippewa is making a push. They have a good team this year.
They have a great team this year, and Scholar coming within 2 points of Algonquin is also scary. Like those top four teams, I don't know if they're interchangeable per se, but they're tight together.
I do think West Ferris is still on top. When you watch them play the game, I think in a series. Because are the semifinals in series at all?
I don't think the semifinals are.
So in a single game, I think anyone can win on any night, like any of those four teams. Scholar might have a little bit of troubles with West Ferris because I do think they have just that one extra step. And I've seen Scholar play, and they're good, but they do tend to miss a lot of baskets that I think Ferris ends up scoring, which over the course of a game can really change the the end score, right? Like all those small missed baskets start to add up. But in a 3-game series, I don't know, actually. I feel, would you feel more confident in Chippewa or Algonquin beating West Ferris in a 3-game series?
I haven't seen Algonquin play a lot, but I think they're similar teams where they have really, really skilled guards who have some height and then like a deep rest of the bench to go and crunch minutes out. But I think no matter who's in the final, even if it's Algonquin, Chippewa, like if they somehow don't finish 2-3, I bet you it'll go to 3 games. I think they'll each take one at home.
So I was just looking, like we'll get to the schedule in a second, but there's effectively 2 weeks worth of games left. There's next week, and then there's the first week of February, and then the playoffs start, looks like February 12th for the quarterfinals. So that being said, there's not a lot of time left to kind of put your stamp on things going into that time and to try to get a favorable matchup to try to get to the finals.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times Chippewa and Algonquin have played, or if at all, because there was a...
They must have played before.
There was a cancellation in the late December.
Yeah,
like the last week.
Yeah, because I tried to go to that game and nobody was there. Oh, no, I think that was a couple of weeks prior.
Yeah.
I remember because I did go to that game, and I think Algonquin had too many injuries. I think that's what I heard.
Exactly. So I'm not sure if they've played, but it's going to be down to the wire and or just looking right into the playoffs.
Yeah. So it's going to be an exciting time. The Northern Shootout was canceled, so that's what I heard because of the weather, obviously. Unless you lived under a rock, you probably looked outside on Friday. It was not nice. And what I understand is if the buses are canceled either in the place that you're going to a tournament or in the place where you're from. So let's say we were going to travel, the North Bay team was traveling to Sudbury and buses were canceled in North Bay, but fine in Sudbury, they wouldn't go. Or if it was fine in North Bay but canceled in Sudbury, you wouldn't go. The buses have to be okay in both spots. So... And the Northern Shootout is like a lot of teams come from all over, NASA like areas, right? So unfortunately that got canceled, which was, I think, another chance for some of these teams to play some different competition than what they see week in, week out.
Yeah, absolutely. In December, there were the two tournaments like the Art Gaber and then the Green and Gold back to back. But then having that Northern Shootout is kind of nice to prepare for the playoffs. Like you're probably playing your best roster when it comes to just the finishing out that tournament. Like the playoffs for that tournament, you're probably getting those quality reps in.
So in the schedule, there's only one day of basketball action happening on next week, and that is Tuesday, the January 20th, where on the junior side, West Ferris will be hosting Algonquin at 5 o'clock, and St. Joseph Schollard Hall is hosting Chippewa at 5 p.m. On the senior side, we've got Franco Cite hosting Mattawa at 5, West Ferris hosting Algonquin at 6:30, and Schollard hosting Chippewa at 6:30. Which games to go to? It's hard to tell. Probably the West Ferris Algonquin game, just because of how we've seen Algonquin a little bit, playing at the West Ferris gym, which is a great place to watch basketball. I'm telling you, it's my favorite gym because when you walk in, there's a lot of space, so you can figure out where you're going.
I agree. And it'll be interesting to see Ferris coming off the loss, how they'll react to that. But going into their gym, having it at home, I think it's not gonna affect them terribly.
On the volleyball courts, the Trojans face the league-leading Bears at the West Ferris gym in senior girls action on Thursday evening. The Bears won the opening 2 sets, and the third set saw Schollard take an early command of the set, but the Trojans fought back, winning some key points, but ultimately falling just short of winning back a set as St. Joseph Schollard Hall continues their dominating run this season with a straight set win with only a couple of games left in the schedule before we head into playoffs.
Looking upcoming for the volleyball side, just like basketball, there's only one day of games scheduled next week on Tuesday. On the junior side, a pair of games hosted in Sturgeon. Franco hosts Algonquin at 5 and Northern hosts West Ferris at 5. And then looking onto the senior side, Northern hosts Mattawa at 5, Algonquin hosts West Ferris at 6:30, and Chippewa hosts Schollard at 6:30.
So Northern Mattawa, well, we kind of looked at it a little weird. They both, seniors and juniors, both play at 5. They do have 2 gyms, so I'm not sure if that's a misprint or not, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if it'll if one's at 6:30 or if they're just playing 2 games at once.
Yeah, so maybe they have just put 10 people on the court. That's fine.
Yeah,
have the seniors and juniors play. That'd be an interesting charity game or something like that, just to see what would happen having 10 people on that court. Though the courts are small. That's something when you look at the gym and you realize the lines that they play on, it's not very big.
No, and there's 6 of them, and then 6 athletes, not just 6 people standing straight up. You know what I mean?
It would be a lot. But there was something that did happen on last weekend. Unlike the Northern Shootout, the Scarlet and Gold did go ahead. I think that's probably because I don't know how many teams came from out of town or which teams didn't come, but it looked like they were still able to go ahead with the tournament itself. And it was Schollard who actually picked up both the seniors and junior banners.
Yeah, Schollard in the junior side beat Chippewa, and then the seniors beat McDonald Cartier from Sudbury. I didn't hear much about it, but I assumed it was good. It's Coach Nodwell's one of his bigger ones, one of his favorite ones to do. So I'm it sounds like it went smoothly. I hope it went smoothly.
I know we talked about this last week, like about convening leagues and stuff. I'm actually surprised he doesn't coach girls volleyball, because you see a lot of you'll see a lot of coaches, like both Scholar coaches do men's and women's. So I'm kind of curious that Craig doesn't do the girls side.
The only reason I can think of would be his family life. Like maybe his kid plays hockey, or I'm not sure, but I know that he still has stake in it. I'm just not full-time coaching, obviously.
Yeah. No, that was just something that I was thinking about. But a couple of good matchups there. I think the Chippewa Scholar one will be very interesting. Chippewa, one of those teams. Again, Scholar is the team to beat in volleyball, as they've pretty much they've done what Chippewa did in volleyball on men's side. They've dominated that league, so that will probably be a good matchup and a good way to kind of again, only another week worth of NDA, and then I believe it's I think then you get into exams, if I remember right, and then the playoffs right around Valentine's Day. So it'll be it's exciting. We're getting right to the tail end of the season, which I think things start to shape up. Maybe we can get another standings update. I might have to get your dad on that because he has all the ins. He knows all the people.
Tail end of the season must mean football's coming back.
What?
Sometime.
No, that's football. Well, I guess the Bulldogs are starting. No, football is not for another, what is it, the first month of the year, another 8 months. But speaking of football, before we get to hockey, you had a cool, we're never getting away from football on this show.
No, that's what I mean.
We have another small update from the Chippewa one, which was kind of a neat thing where they got a pretty big donation towards their goal to bring back senior football next year. Yeah,
on Chippewa socials this morning, it looked like they had got, I believe, a champion level sponsor, which is over $5,000 from a well-known Chippewa family. The Chippewa community member is very involved, the Koski-Harya family, and so that gets them a huge chunk of the way there.
That's awesome. Because they were, 30 last week? They were about halfway there. I wonder what the soft number is. Because I know they put a goal, but usually when you set goals, you want to set them a little bit higher, right? But I wonder what the minimum number is. Or I wonder if they've hit that number, or if, because they've made it very clear, they make it sound like they're coming back. But I don't want to get my hopes up until...
Yeah, if the goal is 60,000 and they say they only hit 42,000, what do you do with that? You're really not going to push the end of the way there. 18,000 is a lot, but if you're at 42,000, you still have to invest that into your program.
And it's tough. I don't remember how much it cost to play football. I think so. I also went to West Ferris, which was, because it was so football heavy, it was a little bit different. They have an entire equipment room of just football equipment and stuff. It was kind of cool, but I want to say it was only $80 or something. I think I don't know. My mom paid it, so I honestly have no idea. I was a great ad, but
yeah, not a lot of they don't provide you. Well, there's not a lot of equipment costs. There's not a lot of travel costs. It's probably not.
But the only thing that is expensive though is Omichel, because Omichel, I think it's something like $200 a game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which it's kind of funny because part of me goes, that's a lot of money. But then I also remember, they need to make money back. It's a city-owned property plus the people that work, that run the field and all this stuff. But it's a healthy chunk of change. So, and they play that once a week essentially. So when they played, I think it was the junior finals at Schollard at Candaria, it made sense. Because it's why would you dish out money for Omichel? That being said, the Omichel games are really nice.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful facility, and it's I'm not sure if the seating's a little bit bigger than Candaria. It's probably similar.
That's a good question. It has to be, because the seating goes all the way down the length of the field.
Long, yeah.
Whereas Well, they do have I would say Scholar and Ferris probably have similar seating because they both have kind of the bigger, like PA booth or whatever you want to call it, and then scoring booth, and then they have like, on either side they'll have bleachers, but there has to be. But it's packed either way because like when you go to Scholar games, or I didn't go to the Ferris game, you went there this year when they hosted Scholar, but when you go to Scholar, it's like people are everywhere.
We often talk about the rhythm of life in North Bay. For Amanda, that rhythm was fast. Hockey practices, baseball games, juggling a full-time career, and keeping up with 2 energetic boys. But life hit pause after routine surgery led to a call she never expected. Stage 2 breast cancer. No symptoms, no warning. Suddenly, Amanda was facing a double mastectomy, reconstruction, weeks of chemotherapy and radiation treatments, and several additional surgeries. The path ahead was overwhelming. Through every stage, one question stayed with her. How do I keep being mom for my boys? Amanda's care team at the North Bay Regional Health Center made all the difference. They understood how deeply she wanted to hold on to familiar routines, cheering from the stands, being there at bedtime, staying present in the moments that gave her strength. Their compassion kept her connected to the 2 people who kept her fighting. She stayed present, she stayed grounded, she stayed mom. This holiday season, help ensure patients have access to the exceptional care they need during life's most challenging moments. Your gift helps patients like Amanda stay connected to the people they love while strengthening healthcare for families across our region. Visit nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125 to give.
Let's get to NDA hockey because the Bears and the Ravens played, and the Ravens made things interesting against the high-flying Bears. And Wednesday night at Sam Jack's, Bears versus Ravens in the first period was a lot of offensive chances from the Bears. Evan Chemery in net for Chippewa made a number of key stops, but the Bears did finally break through to gain a 1-0 lead midway through the period thanks to Elliot McMullen. The Ravens did make things a little interesting. They tied things back up at 1, and that's where the score sat after the first period. And the Bears, despite some penalty troubles throughout the game, still found a way to continue their strong season on the ice as they come away with a 4-1 win. The next game on the docket in the NDA for hockey comes this upcoming Wednesday when Chippewa faces Algonquin at Sam Jack's at 8 p.m.
Yeah, the last time the 2 of them faced off, it was 5-0 Bears on the big ice. And now West Ferris, it's 4-1. So it's improvement. Definitely improvement. Chippewa played a great game. Chippewa goalie Evan Chemery had an incredible game that he should be very proud of. And 4-1 is reasonable. That's a reasonable way to lose compared to 12-0, 13-0, 10, whatever.
Yep. And I was there on Wednesday evening. I went over to Sam Jack's, and the crazy thing in the warm-up, because they don't start right at 8 o'clock, in the warm-up, somebody shot a puck out of play. It hit off a crossbar or it hit off the glass, and it went into the garbage can.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I turned around, I said, because it went over my head, and I'm like, did that go in the garbage can? I looked down, I'm like, it did. So impressive shot.
Yeah.
Right there. But other than that, as you said, Evan Chemery was fantastic in that game. He made a number of stops in that first period. But Scholar did get ahead. I think the biggest thing that hurt Scholar in that game, though, is what we were saying was penalty trouble. They took a lot of penalties in that game. There was a 10-minute misconduct, I believe, as well that happened. So not the game I think the Bears will be happy that they played, even though the scoreline was favorable.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say that was the vibe I got from that team as well. They did run into some penalty trouble, but it's tough. It could be that they're starting to have to play a little harder and play a little riskier and take more penalties, or it's just an off game. But it's tough to say for them. I'm confident they'll bounce back. I'm not really worried that it's a recession for them. So
yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I also think they'll be fine.
I would be shocked if Scholar doesn't win the Nugget Shield again this year. I think Algonquin looks strong, but it does feel like there is a clear division between each team. Like Algonquin is better than Chippewa. Scholar is better than Algonquin. I don't think that is the teams have played each other enough this year that I don't think that is a controversial thing to say.
I would agree. Scholar and Algonquin are both pretty quick physical teams, so it's going to come down to like skill and scoring chances, and I do think Scholar has the edge there.
I think it's going to turn out to what the boys basketball is going to be is I feel like Algonquin could or maybe Chippewa if they have a really good game and they find their scoring acumen. But I think Algonquin could beat Scholar in a one-on-one matchup. We saw Chippewa do it against Ferris in basketball. But I think over a 3-game series and you put the pressure of the finals as well, it's hard to see the Bears not winning.
Yeah, and the semifinals, a 3-game series as well in hockey, so it looks like it'll be Chippewa-Algonquin. I would love to say that Chippewa could steal a game, but it's like I'm not counting on it.
But anything can happen. But as soon as the more games you play, the harder it is for variance or one bad game to really matter, because you basically need to have 2 bad games out of 3.
Yeah,
or 2 like absolutely amazing games.
There's no hiding anything. You've seen the team so many times already. You've seen them 4 or 5 times. Like it's no surprise.
Yeah, and unlike football where they only play each other twice, I believe it is, in the season, hockey you play each other like, I think you guys play like 20 games or something like that.
We used to.
It's got to be close to that number though.
This is the first year. This is only like a 12 or 10 game season.
Oh, really?
So I think 5 each, which is still great. But yeah, it used to be like in the 20s plus tournaments. Like you'd have a little bit more.
That's a lot because like the AAA, like the Trappers play like 38 games, and that's a full season. That's like September to, I think they end at the end of February, plus tournaments.
Yeah,
plus playoffs. Well, their playoffs is like a tournament, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting start. When did the playoffs start for? Is it the same time as the other one?
I believe it's Valentine's Day is the first semifinal game.
Okay, so it's the exact same as all the other ones, and then we get into badminton. Woohoo! Don't be so excited. We do have a couple of other pieces of news, which I should say one main piece of news coming out of the NDA, which is from Scholar actually, which is kind of a cool little piece. Which is their Nordic ski athletes. They apparently had a really good day out on the trails. So no last names here. We only have first names, but just a couple of highlights here on the podium. Junior girls, there was Holly who made it onto the podium. In senior girls, Haley and Eliana. In the senior boys, you had Harrison. And then in the novice, it's Peyton and Aaliyah. So congratulations goes out to those people. Of course, we don't know their last names, but kind of some cool pictures that were on their Facebook page and kind of neat. It's hard to cover those ones though, because it's hard to get footage of. Like really, it's kind of hard to do, but it's always great to see. It's like golf. Golf is a very hard thing to get footage of unless you get just generic B-roll footage of people hitting the ball, or you follow them around literally all day.
Yeah, you'd have to just be behind them, be their shadow the whole time. Which
is kind of interesting, though. That just reminded me a bit of the PGA stuff that came out. I don't know if you heard about that.
I don't think I did.
But they had, so I know we're getting into golf here, but you know how people left for LIV for the Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, okay.
That golf. They wanted to come back. So I think like Brooks Koepka was one that wanted to come back, and the PGA made some very, they let him come back, but there were a lot of penalties on him. Like I think he's going to end up missing out on something like a potential $80 million worth of winnings and stuff. Yeah. It's a harsh penalty, but I mean, he also went and made like, gods know how much money playing LIV golf. So there was like a whole thing there, but this is this is high school / North Bay stuff. So not on the same level, but other than that, let's head on over to the university stuff, because the university teams and college were back in action. So in Nipissing athletics, the men's hockey team went out to Quebec and dropped both games. Actually, they lost to the University de Quebec at Trois-Rivières 3-2, and then lost a bit of a big one, 7-1 to Concordia. But they are back in action tonight as they host Carleton here at Memorial Gardens at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday, they host Ontario Tech at 4 p.m.
On the women's side this week, they had 2 games at home. They lost 8-2 to Waterloo on Friday and then bounced back against Carleton, winning 3-0. And then this weekend they're on the road. They're going down to Waterloo on Friday at 7 o'clock and then to St. Catharines to play Brock at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
And the men's basketball was in Brock last Friday, where they dropped the contest 70-56. They are at home this weekend, starting tonight 8 p.m. versus Algoma, and tomorrow at 6 p.m. as they face McMaster.
Similar story for the women's basketball. They went down to Brock University last week on Friday and lost 72-63. But this weekend, they're in town. They play tonight at 6 against Algoma and tomorrow at 4 against McMaster.
And over to volleyball, it was a much better scene in the volleyball world as Brock came to Nipissing and men's volleyball won both games in straight sets. They are on the road in Hamilton as they go and face McMaster starting tonight at 8 o'clock and tomorrow at 4 p.m.
On the women's side, still positive. They played last weekend. Brock came down. They dropped the first game 3-1 on Friday, and then on Saturday won the game in 5 sets. They are also going down to Hamilton this weekend to face McMaster, starting at 6 o'clock tonight and 2 o'clock tomorrow.
And over in the Panthers world, it was men's basketball back in action, their first game since the break, as they will be hosting Fanshawe at the Canadore gym on Saturday at 4 p.m.
On the volleyball side, the men were in action last week against Georgian and lost in 4 sets. And then looking ahead to this weekend, they play tomorrow at Seneca at 3 o'clock, and then on Sunday against Durham, also at 3 o'clock. And on the women's side, they also headed down to Barrie last weekend and won the game in 5 sets against Georgian. They are on the same schedule as the boys and go down to Seneca tomorrow at 1 o'clock and then Durham on Sunday at also 1 o'clock.
So some exciting games coming up on this weekend, including that Canadore Panthers game where they're still looking for, I believe if I go up here, they're still looking for their first win. They're 0-10 this season, but hosting Fanshawe. I'm going to try to get to that game, I think, on Saturday afternoon. I haven't been there yet, and I think I want to see what they're all about. So that'd be nice to see the first win. Yeah,
maybe you're the good luck charm.
Maybe. We'll see. I haven't. It's funny because when I went to Canada, I never went into the gym. I've been to the gym before, but it's kind of funny how the gym is on the Nipissing side.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It's like the gym and then Nipissing classes, and you come from it's on the Nipissing wing.
You go down the staircase.
Yeah,
the really bad. If anybody's not been down the staircase, I don't know who designed it, but it is weird. I think people there call it like the drunk staircase.
Yeah, well, because you start on the right side and end up on the middle left.
Yeah, so it feels like you're intoxicated when you're going down it. So it's a staircase.
It is a staircase.
It is one of the staircases
in the world.
Of all time. But a couple of good things coming up, or a couple of interesting matchups, I should say, coming up next week, including, I think, a really exciting game between West Ferris and Algonquin and boys basketball, Chippewa Schollard and girls volleyball. Anything you're looking forward to?
I would say the boys basketball as we start to have some teams take wins off of other teams, and it's going to be a tight race. I'm looking forward to that, how that shakes out.
Cool. All right. So that wraps things up for us here. This has been Sportscast number 70. I am Ben Sargent.
I'm Jackson Bull.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. Of course, if you ever want to send us anything, you can, or if you have scores, results, anything you want us to cover, any information, any cool sports thing that happened in North Bay, you can shoot it over. Either reach out to us on our socials at North Bay Echo. We're on Facebook, Instagram. I guess those are the main two to message through. I guess technically LinkedIn and TikTok, though I don't think people send too many messages through TikTok, but probably through Facebook and Instagram would be the best way. Or you can email it to me at ben@northbayecho.ca. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video, and we will see you all again next week.